taken the cash now and I've walked to the door as they walked to the door and I've said, no, take your money, I don't want it. Then they all started putting their hands behind their back, they didn't want it. So I threw the money at them. And then they left a review about it. That I threw the money like a tornado. And I realised from that point that even as an owner, you've got to step back.
New episode featuring myself, featuring Wes, featuring Gable. Hope you like this one. Summer Love, end of the month. Please grab your tickets. And Wes, we're bringing the merch back.
Yeah, merch.
The merch's coming back.
Get your merch. The
merch's coming back. We're gonna start doing live shows, and literally the only way to enter is by merch. That's gonna be a ticket. So you get merch as a ticket. First drink free on me. So yeah, please like, share, subscribe. Let's get it.
You see a lot of people who, when they're in 9-to-5 jobs and they want to go self-employed, the first thing they say to themselves, I want to work for myself so no one can tell me anything. And I think you're going to have a rude awakening that your customers are now your bosses. And the idea that, you know, somebody says, oh, they want to be self-employed, you know, maybe they're doing 40, 50 hours a week for somebody. I think there's this idea that they're going to become self-employed and only do 10, 20 hours and make the same money. And it's a joke. It's not the case. You know, you become the HR person, you're the carpenter, you're the electrician, you're the marketing, you're the counsellor, you're everything in the business when you first open. And I think it's interesting when someone thinks that because you're now self-employed that you've got all the time in the world, and it's just not the case.
Customers will phone you like any time of the day, random. The way they talk to you, they talk to you like anything, but you still have to be mad polite. You know what I mean? I was giving one of my staff a talk about this the other day. She was like, oh, how do you stay so calm and all of that? I said, when you're on top of the business and you know that it's your livelihood and money in charge, you ain't got no choice. You get what I'm saying? Because I said to her, if this was your business and you were talking to people mad, someone leaves one review, they tell the next person leave review, they tell the next person. I told her this, like, what you don't get is people are more likely to leave a bad review than remember to leave a good review.
Yeah. Well, why do you think that is?
Huh?
Why do you think that is? Why is it that somebody would have a great experience somewhere and decide that they're not going to say anything? But when they have a bad experience, they're the first to start doing Queen's English. Hi, I becometh and went to Dowifs of the venue 254 ifs. Why do you think that is?
Because negativity spreads
faster,
quicker than positivity. So you could do a million good things. Like for example, like let's say you have a family member and you could do a million great things for them. Pick them up from this place, drop them to school or whatever. You do one bad thing and they remember it forever. And they'll hold that against you.
Yeah. Are we entitled?
Yeah.
Entitled to what?
I think
humans are naturally entitled.
Are we just entitled in general?
Yeah.
And I think we become too complacent and expect things from people. I don't know, I think I've got to the point where my biggest curse for me is that I don't like asking people for things. One of my biggest curses. I don't like asking people for things, but it's bad.
I suffer from that badly.
It's bad though.
Badly.
Something that could maybe take me 10 days to do by myself, or maybe take 2 days with the help of somebody, I'll just batter it out for 10 days when I could get the help. But then I'm the first to genuinely help somebody. And it's not a good trait to have. And I've always said it before that, you know, women in the past have fallen out with me when they're trying to date me because I don't want you to do anything for me. Because I don't want it. Because sometimes I feel you're trying to get it back in the back end. As in you're trying to maybe spin the block and say, oh, but I did this for you. And I shouldn't always think like that. You know, and I think I've struggled with that for ages, letting people do things for me. I don't know if it's part of trauma growing up, being disappointed, being let down. I don't know, but I know that if I don't ask you to do something, you can't let me down.
Yeah, it is.
You know, I don't know if that's part of it. And if that's part of it, I need to unlearn that because it's kind of toxic.
It's a rejection thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of toxic. You know, when you're growing up as a young boy, you know, someone says they're gonna come or do something for you, and then you know you're at the window, and then you then soon learn why they call it a window pane. You know, yeah, click, you know, don't let it go over your head. You know what I mean? And I think that's part of it, and it's bad though because even as a guy who's, you know, approaching halfway through my life, I'm sitting there thinking, Gabriel, you know this is a problem. You need to fix it. It's not good for relationships.
Is it Is there a positive side to that though? Because in a way, you've grown into a life where you don't need anyone. You're
But
independent.
we always
We all
need
need
people.
someone.
It's
I say okay,
it's a facade. We all need people.
I'll rephrase. So less so than perhaps the average person. Like you can take like more stress, more work, go through more hardship.
It's not by choice though. It's being forced to adapt.
Yeah.
To what's in front of you, but you don't want to be like that.
No, 100%.
It's not a good way to be.
But would you not say it's better to be able to be like that as opposed to, on the other hand, like not be able to deal with stress, not be able to deal with hard times, hard moments? Because let's say, for example, now,
like, realistically, who wants stress?
No, of course, but I feel like as a part of life, I feel like you should want stress.
I say stress is. I think we've got to this idea. I think social. I hate and love social media because it's highlights. I think we've got to this point where we believe that life is meant to be smooth and easy, and unfortunately, life is a roller coaster of hell. Like it's, all it is that you just have different moments in your life that make you smile and make you happy. But we're no different to any other mammal where we're meant to work. If you don't work, you don't eat. There's not one living organism that on this earth that doesn't. You have to work. You have to move around to get food. I don't understand why we've got this idea that life's just going to be honky-dory and running through a park with daffodils tied to your head and you're drinking Pims. That's not life. Like you're going to go through torture, but it's just whether or not you have other things around you to balance out the torture. Because life is hard. I don't know why people and sometimes people act like money. Don't get me wrong, I'd rather cry with money than cry and be broke. I'm not going to sit and pretend. I'm not going to be this person that's going to sit there and be like, yeah, money can't buy happiness. No can being broke. So let's allow it in it. I don't understand the idea that money doesn't matter. Like
crying in a Rolls Royce Dawn, expensive pain.
It's very. I don't mind that,
I want that still.
I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Like even if I've got health issues, let me have health issues in my Lambo. Like it's whatever the problem you might think, whether it's your kid giving you stress, your wife, let me have those problems with money.
It's better in that aesthetic.
It's much better than that. And it's a hard pill to swallow when, you always do things by yourself because you don't want to be let down or you don't want someone to try and get it on the other end. And there's nothing worse than doing something for somebody. You can't do something for them and they bring up what they've done for you. Like, don't do that. Like, don't.
It's like, in regards to that, I've got a friend and she would always like message, do you need help or anything? I'm like, no, I'm good. Then she phones like mad times. Like today she phoned at 8 and she goes, I must have ignored and said I'm working. She goes, you and Finny, our other friend, you never answer the phone. I said, mate, I told you, I'm always working doing these times of the day. But because you work from home and your job is more flexible, you can afford to be on your phone the whole day talking to people. I said, unfortunately, the rest of us, our lives are not like that. She goes, yeah, because you never want no help from no one. I said, mate, like, alright, if I said to you now, borrow me 10 million, where you going to go source that from? Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So I said, until I've got money, let me stay in my zone and work. Yeah. She's like, you ain't taking no time for yourself. Like, I said, mate, like, until things are the way I need balance, unfortunately, life ain't easy and rosy. Like, when people say, you should take time off. Right. Yeah, it's hard to. Let me go take time off. And now, when the bills pile up,
bills.
You're gonna say on the phone, sorry, cheers. Nah, B, let me stay in my zone. But they don't get this, Everyone thinks that life is meant to be soft.
It can. I think I've always got the mantra that you can either work now and play later, or you play now and work later. There's no middle ground. And I've always said I don't want to be that old man outside the bookies, betting on horses. I don't want to do it. There's times I'm driving around and I'm seeing men who look like they're in their 60s and 70s, doing delivery jobs. And once again, they might be doing it because they want to get out of the house. That might be their reason. If I'm bored at 60, 70, I might go and take up a little job, because I'm bored. But I don't know if that is the case. And that's why I always say, people get onto me when I say that, women tend to fall on their feet and men, fall on their face. Like, generally speaking, a woman can probably find herself a guy who's got money who'll put her in his house. I don't have that option. I know you could argue and say, but there are men who live under women. That's cool for them. I can't be that guy. So unfortunately, I've got to toil and struggle as much as I can now to make sure that, when I get older, I've sorted myself out. You know, I was talking to somebody the other day even about pensions and lifetime ISAs, and yeah, it's not easy. And when you're self-employed, people just tend to think that you've got all the time in the world. I genuinely don't. You know, maybe I can manage my time better. That's probably what I could do, but I don't. This idea of where you become self-employed and you just, you know, you've got free time in the world to travel everywhere, doesn't work like that. Sometimes you might get a spurt. Sometimes you might scale your business or manage your business well enough that you can do that. But this idea of just, you know, I'm going to leave my 9 to 5, become self-employed and just waltz around like, you know, Dorothy in Kansas, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that.
Doesn't scaling your business give you options with your time as opposed to having to work in comparison to like a 9 to 5, like a normal job?
I would say yes. So for instance, I wouldn't call it the luxury, but I've had a nice spurt towards say June of last year till now. That's because I think when you open your first business, I think actively you have to work in there. You're everything. If you can manage to open and duplicate and have 2, what you can find now is that, let's say one business was making you $3,000, and let's say you had to work there every day to make that $3,000. You might open another one, which now makes you $3,000. But what it is now, you can put enough people in that new business where you might only make 1.5 from there, but now you've got you've got maybe 1.5 from there and 1.5 from there. So now you're making $3,000. So you've taken 1.5, 1.5. So you're now making the same $3,000, but you don't have to give as much time. So once you can scale your business and there's enough of them making money, then you can. So for instance, let's say you're doing, you know, videography. You know that you can't be in 2 places at the same time. So you, for instance, you might make, I don't know, say you make $150 a day, but you have to be out every day. You might get enough business where you've got, you know, duplicate yourself, so now you're making £300 a day. Does that make sense? So you might decide now that, you know what, if I can get enough business to do 3 people, you might make less, where you're only making, say, £75 a day there, £75 a day there, and £75 a day there, because you've got to pay this person something. Now, 75 times 3 is what? 70, 140, 210, 225. So now you're making £225, and you don't need to physically be anywhere. So once you've got to that point, you can. But at the beginning, trying to scale your business so you don't have to be there is the hard part. Like when I first opened Birmingham and all these other ones, I had to be there. I had no time for anything. And it's only now that I've got a bit more time, you know. But I think it's a hard pill to swallow, because when you're self-employed, you soon realize that your customers are your boss. As Chiz was saying before, somebody will tell you about yourself, and you want to give them a straw to go and meet their mum. But you know
you have
that
to be mad polite.
You know.
Say okay, thank you.
I remember one time when I'm at Dulwich, and one customer. So basically, I think I told the story before. You pay a £10 per head deposit for anything over 3 people. So 2 people didn't turn up. So they paid £60. When the bill came, I only took off £40. So they were like, oh, we paid £60. I said, yeah, 2 people didn't turn up. I was like, oh, but we bought drinks, we spent money. I was like, yeah, you would have spent more if the other person was here. So this conversation was with my staff, but I could see my staff was getting aggravated, it was taking too long, and the other table was here to take their table. So I've gone over there now, bent down, you know, tried to, you know, ease out the problem. They just weren't having it, so I told them just leave. Like, I don't want the money. So then...
What's wrong with you?
No, I was waiting for him to be childish. That's what I was looking at.
I wasn't saying anything. Leave me be.
You know what he said.
We've matured.
Yeah, I was looking at it.
Killed my train of thought.
No, but I was just looking at him.
You wrote the story now.
No, keep talking. But I was looking at you. Because normally you're the bad childish one. So I was waiting for you. Wow. Well done, Wes.
No, bro.
Shake my hand.
Yeah, I'll shake. Yeah, we'll shake your hand. No problem.
Yeah, so...
But the moment kid and chicks comes here, that's out the window.
Yeah. The arena changes, isn't it?
But long story short, I told them I didn't want their money. Told them to leave. It was about £300. I said, I don't want your money. So what happened now is they tried to basically go to the till and pay. I told my staff, don't take their money, I don't want their money. So what they did now, I think they left about £160 cash on the table as they was going. But as they were leaving, I only clocked that they put cash on there. So as I've taken the cash now and I've walked to the door, as they walked to the door, and I've said, no, take your money, I don't want it. Then they all started putting their hands behind their back, they didn't want it. So I threw the money at them. And then they left a review about it, that I threw the money like a tornado. And I realised from that point that even as an owner, you've got to step back.
Yeah.
You've got to make sure you're not interacting with customers, because if a manager does that, it's fine. If staff members done it, it's fine. But me as the owner, I can't be dashing money back at you.
That's funny.
But I just got to the point where, like, I realised that when you're the front line of your business, it's horrible.
So how detrimental to a business or someone self-employed is a bad review? So if you go on Trustpilot, you see a bad review and it's there. Like how upset are you as a business owner?
I started taking it personal. So for instance, let's say a friend of a friend came to the restaurant and had a bad experience.
Yeah.
I'm like, pussy, you got my number. Why are you going on TripAdvisor? Why are you going on Google? Because I know it's you. Because I can tell from the story that it was you. You're telling me, I went to Sion. The food took 45 minutes to come out. I remember that day it was you, pussy.
Bro, I did.
Like, why didn't you just freaking ring me? Or why didn't you tell me there and then? Why are you leaving a review? But once again, the person's entitled to. They're a paying customer.
Yeah.
If they go to any other place, they leave a review. So I started taking it personal. That's why I said, you know what? It's time to step back. And I believe that you shouldn't be the face of your business. Some businesses, I think some businesses you might need to.
At all.
Your business should operate without you.
See, even if it's your first one, because let's say you, for example.
I don't think you should.
No, I'm being dead serious. At all.
I appreciate that, but obviously...
I wish that when man opened it, I disassociated myself from the start.
Yeah. So like with 254, obviously you've used your network to obviously get the initial buzz to like obviously you've done like launch parties and stuff. And like I'm assuming like some people like or friends of friends have booked, right?
Yeah.
So it's generated business. So what's the difference between doing it how you've done it versus doing it without your face on it?
Just run ads. Facebook.
Yeah, and it can build organically.
Yeah.
When you're the face of it, it just becomes too personal, and you take things personal. And people expect so much from you.
And people do stuff like I'll be like on my main line. Phone rings. I'm like, hello, who am I speaking to? Oh yeah, so and so gave me a number. Oh cool, could I call you back in a second? Yo bro, I beg you don't pass my number to no one like that. Message me first, and then I'll give you what number to. Don't put my number out there.
But the only flip side to it though is that person is generally just trying to help.
They're trying to help, but still,
don't give up my
everyone
personal
knows
number.
Yeah, that's why I got two phones.
It shouldn't be business. In my opinion, shouldn't be personal. You should be able to separate yourself from it, because that way. So for instance, let's say you wanted to buy Sion from me, and let's say everybody comes to Sion because of me. I can't sell that business to you.
Yeah, because it'll be dead without you. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's just a prime example. I'm not talking about one specific type of business.
Of course.
But same if you're a hairdresser, and someone comes to this hairdresser because of you. Let's say it's called Lawson's Hairdressers, and everyone comes there because of Lawson's. I'm doing the hair. Yes, I'm making maybe £5,000 a week profit. If I step out of that business, are these customers still coming? No. And if these customers won't come anymore, you don't have a business.
So would you say if you build your business like obviously like kind of like how like Chiso's done and stuff, like where it's around him, is that too dissimilar from being self-employed, or would you say that is you with me because you're the face of the business? If you leave the business, for example, like it won't function. You can't sell it, etc.
If you can't step aside from your business for a week, 2 weeks, let's even say a month, and it can't operate without you, you're just working. You're just a glorified worker, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, of course, I understand.
And I always say that you have to. Your business is only as good as your staff. And if you don't know how to hire good staff, you ain't got a good business. Because sometimes people think that only I can do it. No one can do it like me, bro. You're not Einstein, bro. Like, so anyone who runs a business now that sits there thinking, but no one can do it like me, bro. You're not Einstein. You're not building aeroplanes. You just don't know how to hire staff well. Get someone better to do the recruiting or pay your staff more, or stop hiring friends who know you. Like it's very simple. You might have to pay somebody £2 extra an hour. But that might free you from your business. So
that there would free you a lot.
Because since June, I've travelled a lot since June, and that's because, touch wood, I've got.
That was crazy.
That's crazy, yo. What's going on here, man?
It's touching meat on the camera.
Yo, brother, relax, man. The floor's wooden,
Sorry, cool. Hand on my heart, yeah.
Wow.
Sorry. But for instance, I pay my staff more than I should pay them.
Yeah.
But touch wood, hand on my heart, I've been able to travel. So I make less than I should do, but I've got my time back, relatively. And I think until you can buy your time back or win your time back, you're just working. And once again, there's nothing wrong with working. And I've always said that if I could get a day job, which would pay me similar to what I'm earning now, I'll tell me when to go and break. This idea that you're a chump for working for somebody, it's nonsense.
Sir, can I get my phone out of the locker?
Like I'll put my phone in the locker.
I'm ready, where?
Bro, I'm telling you. But the problem now is that because things are so tight in England. It's tight, man. This country's tight, man. I know we always moan about it, but it's tight, man. And I genuinely I generally wonder how. Obviously, times are different when our parents raised us, but I sit there and think, social media has played a really bad part in this illusion of what we're meant to be doing. For instance, when you was growing up, how often did your mum go on holiday? Just remember when you was 5 or 6.
I didn't have a passport, bro. I didn't go anywhere. The furthest place I went was like Butlins.
But maybe
I never got taken on holiday once.
But maybe the argument can be that our parents couldn't travel. So maybe we should be talking about someone whose parents had a British passport and could travel.
That's my mum, bro.
No, but they,
okay then.
Bro, but they had British passports, but they will go by themselves in Nigeria.
How many holidays should someone be taking a year?
Instagram age says 4, innit?
Yeah, Instagram says a lot.
two European and 2 big holidays.
Yeah. Because when you really think about it, and let's say you go on holiday let's say you get 28 days annual leave. Mm-hmm. The average person might get that. Yeah. I know someone might say I get less or more, but let's just call it 28 days. So let's say, for instance, you might use 20 of those to go on holiday. Let's say you're doing 4 holidays, so you might do what? You might go Thursday to Sunday or something. A 4-day holiday to Europe, I don't know, it's going to cost you what? Maybe flight, maybe call it, depends where you're going. Let's just say a flight is 200. Accommodation for each of those nights might cost you what? £100 a night. So that's 6 bills. 100. Yeah, you can spend where you go. £100. It depends what kind of
unless you get a package deal.
It can be any price, innit?
Okay,
let's just call it 100 because then people are going to argue. Well, you can get a room for 50 quid. You can get one for 200. Let's just call it £100 on average.
Cool.
So that's 6 bills already.
Yeah.
Then you've got to talk about maybe your excursions. So let's say you're spending maybe another £100 a day as a minimum. So that's 6. That's maybe £1,000 holiday. Let's say you're doing 4 of them a year. That's £4,000. How easy is it to save that on a typical salary? So how many holidays should one be taking? How many times should one be going out? Like it's so, social media has made it look like people holiday every day. Like how is, and it's a shame because this is not the reality. Like for instance, how many holidays did you go on last year?
None, bro.
Now is that because you couldn't afford to, or because you're saving?
I could have went. I'm saving.
So why? Do you want a holiday? I know it's a dumb question. Are you craving like?
I don't know, man. I'm just the zone I've been in is just work. Like I haven't really considered it. Like I looked at it, I thought about maybe I should go here, maybe I should do that. But I look at what I would spend, and then because I was mainly self-employed as well, so if I'm going away, I'm not making money that whole time. I didn't have annual leave then.
And I'll tell you what's very interesting, and even for myself, you know, a lot of the things we do because of the pressure of social media.
Yeah.
Even when going out to eat, going on holidays, a lot of it is to let people know that I am doing this. Like I've gone on holiday.
Yeah, it's a status game.
I've gone to this restaurant. You know, even when it comes to clothes, we have enough clothes.
You know what's mad though?
You know
what's mad that you say this here?
Look how much trainers you've got back there.
The last few holidays, yo, I ain't got nothing back there.
Bro.
He had a bag of Jordans that he was getting rid of. Yeah,
so I ain't got nothing.
Yeah.
A lot of what we're doing
now
is keeping up with social media and the Joneses. You've got enough black trainers, enough white trainers. You've got enough trainers to match every clothing you've got.
About. The last few holidays we've been on, man, ain't got no pictures from it.
And that's fine.
Yeah, I've got into a zone where when I go out now, I just don't take pics unless someone's taking something, then send it to me. But I've got into a zone.
Like imagine this. The other day I was going out, yeah, and in my head I was saying to myself, before I'm leaving, I'm gonna want to take a picture here. So imagine I'd worn my outfit and remembered that I'd really taken a picture in this outfit, and I sat there like, am I gonna take my clothes? I just had to leave the door. I said, am I gonna take my clothes off and change because I want to take a picture in this place? And remember, that picture's gonna go for where? Social media. Yeah. It's not for my phone.
But
it's bad.
I would argue that, obviously I don't know, but you guys have images in a way to uphold, and I believe...
What image? Image of what?
You do.
But it shouldn't be a clothing image. I'm not a flipping fashion designer.
It's part of the image.
The way we're dressed on YouTube, there ain't no image, bro.
It's part of
I get what you're saying, but I'm not.
Your personal brand. Your people assume you don't have money, and if you
do you know how many people I bump into a road like this?
Yeah, that's a normal day. So then why don't you take pictures like that and put it on Instagram every day?
I've got pictures of it on my Instagram.
Every day.
In gym clothes, just cash.
Even gym is part of your.
No, but I'm saying that I don't have to dress up to impress no one. Cause every day when I'm working, I bump into someone who watches the channel. Every single day.
Alright, so I know you lot in real life, innit?
Yeah.
And like, I can look at your social media now and say, like, how you lot behave on a day-to-day basis versus your social media presence is completely different.
Explain.
Yeah.
In terms of what if I didn't know you and I just saw your social media, I would assume how you behave in real life, how you act in real life, what sort of money you have, how you spend money is completely different to how you actually operate.
Okay, what do you get from my social media makes you think that? Because first of all, I think my social media indicates that I'm into business.
Yeah.
I don't think it shows lifestyle. I don't think my social media shows that.
In comparison to
Gym.
Or maybe in comparison to I don't view you as the average person.
I can find stuff. So you're scrolling through years. I can find stuff very easily.
One picture in a suit in the space of 2 months.
No, but I get your point. but I think that's the facade
in comparison to the average person's life, right? So the average person, for example, they don't go to America to meet their friends, like, do you know what I mean? And do certain like they're not doing that. They're not spending whatever you're spending. Like that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
that's not normal.
No, you say that, but the average person every Friday, Saturday, Sunday will be at local bars in the area doing all of this. We don't do that.
You could argue.
So
that.
it's like
it balances out. I guess
it balances out.
You
Pick your vices. So
yeah.
I break it down like this. Some of my brothers here would always talk shit about, oh yeah, you go away a lot, and I say to them, right, I've been out with you.
Yeah.
We might go, like, let's say like tomorrow's Friday.
Yeah.
They're gonna go Saturday bar. They're gonna go to the bar. Right, what you man drinking? Oh, guys, what you drinking? What you drinking? What you drinking? Before they leave that bar, they've probably spent a bill. What they're gonna do? But bro, they're gonna do the same thing. No, but these are people that work regular jobs. What they don't do. Like, you see, the thing is here, you could give someone 100 bags here a year, and due to their poor money management skills, the same way they were spending at 25 with their poor management skills, they're going to do the same thing at 100, and they're going to tell you they ain't got no money. So what's going to happen is these people, they'll go out Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they'll tell you, they're not making much, but they spend more than a man who's making double them. So when you tell them, they're like, perfect example, 2018, 2019. I used to work like a madman, but I used to travel all the time. And man used to say to me, how come you travel so much? I said, I don't go out as much as you. I had locked Sundays, so that was my weekly outing. So my event was my outing. But I showed man how to do that. There's Jack's Flight Club, there's Holiday Pirates, and if you're scrolling these things regular, it starts to, you know how Instagram works, it starts to show you deals on your phone. And at that period, all I wanted to do was travel. So, perfect example, I've gone Morocco. That must have been like my first trip back then. During that spurt, Morocco cost me $190. You get what I'm saying? For 4 days, I spent like £60 out there, because all my food was all inclusive in that. Okay. So I'm like, I've gone on holiday, but the image is he was quad biking. Quad biking cost me? I think it cost me £20. Yeah. And when I went to the market and spoke to the guy, he said, right, don't tell the people at your hotel that you got the deal from us, because they came to pick us at the hotel, but everyone else paid 70 quid. But I already knew, like, I'm like, right, I'm in Africa. Like, this is how things work. So when I seen on the flyer, it was at the market, it was going to, I went and found him and I said, yeah, bro. I said, come on, man, I'm Nigerian. I know how you get what I'm saying, I haggle.
And I get that, but like...
But when you're seeing, two bills abroad looks better than
110, but it looks better, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
so you're saying the image that's portrayed online, you think that somebody could think to themselves that
1,000,000%, because if you presented yourself,
do this all the time.
So the idea and the image that you have of yourself, if that were, let's say, true, I don't think people would be then shocked to see you doing Uber, because like, for example, you meet a lot of people from the channel, right, when you're doing Uber, and they're always shocked to like, right, cheers, like you're doing Uber, and they're shocked to see you have a job.
But I say it all the time.
But you say it all the time. That's not what you show.
But I tell you the problem is
80% of what people see
the problem is this: the moment you've got a platform, the moment
you're
sitting behind a camera, they expect you to have money and expect you to not have a job. Like they expect, because maybe there are people out there who are making so much money off YouTube, they see you online and think, okay,
you shouldn't
be where I am. Yeah. Like, how are you behind a camera doing what?
Who was
that woman?
Even when man's at a venue, bro.
One second, who was that woman that we saw that was doing Uber? Remember I posted in the group, there's an American rapper or an American what was her name again? I can't remember.
I can't remember. Yeah,
There's one
was she a
American
Yeah.
rapper who basically she went to pick someone up and obviously her face came up on the Uber screen and the person screenshot it saying, "Wow, like your favorite rapper does Uber."
Yeah.
Because there's nothing worse than being in that middle ground where you're famous or popular, but you don't have that money that's attached to being famous and popular. So you got to work.
Yeah.
And
They expect you just to sit down at home.
I don't believe. I like to think that I try to give a balanced view of whatever my life might be like. So, for instance, you know, the other day I posted that I was in my Clio, like I drive my Clio, my 2010 plate blue Clio with no hubcaps. That's my car.
Right.
But
it's ironically your car.
That's not ironic.
Because you have a rollie.
Okay.
So when you're saying you try to post like a balanced like lifestyle and stuff, like a rollie's up here and a Clio with no hubcaps is down there.
You don't get like you see like
no, I completely get. I'm just trying to give you the.
I hear it, but you know what it is here? Like everyone's got their own what they prioritize. Like it goes back to what I was saying about certain of my brothers would complain about they can't travel as much.
Yeah.
But head to toe, they're never missing designer. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? We'll go out, top designer, boom, bottoms designer, shoes designer. Me, I'm in Zara head to toe. You get what I'm saying?
I get where you're coming from.
Some Nikes or Yeezys or something that I've had for time, and it's because my thought process is I don't give a fuck about you. Like, I don't have to impress no one. I am my brand, if you get what I mean. So whatever way you see me, I know who I am. I know I'm that guy. You get what I'm saying? So I don't care about what you lot think because it don't matter to me. So like, what I enjoy is things like the traveling. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I'd rather put my money into. Things that I enjoy. I don't drink, bro. I go out with my brethren. Like the other day I was out with my brethren. And I must
the event you didn't tell anyone about?
Get out of here, man.
Oh, okay,
that event. This guy books flights and don't tell me. Next minute, I'm bringing him. I'm hearing foreign Dalton. Get out of here, man.
To make a point.
Him and Marvin was trying to get at me for not telling him. These times I pulled up last minute. At 5 o'clock, I got a bird call. I was there by 7. But anyway, like I've gone to this event and I said, right, I'm a cheap date because the man them have bought a table, bare bottles. Bro, I didn't have to buy nothing because I don't drink. Then I just gave me a carton of apple juice. I said, thank you, boys. Bro, all I paid for was parking. Parking cost £15 and the Morley's at 8 on my way home. So my day cost me £21.
Does Eddie know that you eat Morley's?
Uncle Eddie, I'm sorry, man. Uncle, I'm sorry.
That's what I know, Eddie.
Uncle Eddie, I'm sorry. So I ate Morley's that day anyway. So anyway now, yeah. £22 day. Them man spent like over a couple bills each.
See, I don't even think that your circle is like the normal average working circle.
Bro, everyone works on jobs.
Remember, we're middle aged now, remember. You have to remember that. Remember, like, a lot of
the things we can do now, we couldn't do at 20.
Like, remember, like, you're 20 what? 21, 22? 24. Then again, at 24, I was mashing. I was making good money. Well, to what I thought was mashing then.
Yeah.
I was making good money then. But you remember, people DM me and call me uncle, and they're not even being rude.
Yeah.
Like, people say, oh, uncle, like, I like your advice. And at first I used to get offended. I'm like, bro, I'm actually uncle. I'm an old man.
But even still, like
I'm old.
I would say, like...
I'm living an old man's life. Like, I've worked, you got to remember this. I've worked, when you're hitting 40, you've technically worked a minimum of like 20 years of your life. Minimum 20. And and I remember when I said this to my friend, he actually got upset and overwhelmed. I said, you've worked 20 years. What have you got to show for it? And yes,
true.
I've got 20 years of working experience. And things happen in life. Sometimes you make bad investments. Things may go wrong. But think about it. I've done 20 years of working, of trying to figure it out. And I still haven't figured it out. And that's the harsh reality of when you get to middle-aged or 40 is that, you know, you get to this age and you're like, well, what have I actually done? And I think that's where a lot of people have a midlife crisis. Like, you wake up at 40 and you're like, shit, I've made some really bad decisions. And that's why I implore the younger lot to make all your mistakes now. So that by the time you get to 30, you know what you're trying to do. So by 40, you're not scattering around because it's only going to get worse. Like, this isn't getting better. England is only getting worse. And I don't like to... I'm not the kind of person that likes to be optimistic. I can only... my mum would say, I'd rather scare you to heaven than pamper you to hell. Like, this is not getting any better. And everyone's got to butt their ideas up. Some of the older lot, you can still turn the tide. You can still spin the block and turn things around, but it's you lot that need to really forget all this enjoyment. Like, there's so much enjoyment later on. Women are not going anywhere. Money's not going anywhere. Raving's not going anywhere. Like, there's so many things. And I know you mentioned, you've got a Rollie, but I drive my Clio. The reason why I drive my Clio is because it's not the right time for me to spend $3,000 a month on a car. It's not the right time.
But
I remember my watch, and this, I make a point, I can always sell it for close to what I bought it for.
Yeah.
So even if I sell it for, say, 10 grand, I paid 10 grand for it. Or even if I got 9.5 for it, I don't mind losing 5 bills in 2 years or in the 6 months. Any car I'm going to buy now, typically it's going to depreciate.
I'll give you an example, yeah. So even him talking about the car thing. Last year, I told you, I'm driving my car. I sit next to Uber man. We're both at the petrol station. He's driving my current car. So I said to him, bro, how much did you put? I'm frustrated that day. I said, bro, how much you put on a full tank of petrol in your car? He said, £55. I said, I looked at him. I said, thank you. 2 weeks later, I bumped into him. We've got the same car now. He says, rah, you swapped the car. I said, yeah, you told me you spent £55. I said, that day you saw me, I put £60. And the reason why that happened was, that's the early days of the venue. So I've gone east, back, done Uber, done this. And I'm like, rah, in 2 days I've burnt through. So I'm not going to live like this. I'll be spending £60 every couple of days. I said, that's madness. So literally, sold the car now, got the newer car, but it's in physical standards, it's not a Merc no more, it's a Kia. To everyone, it's like a downgrade, even though it's a newer car. Then after doing that now, I said to myself, £55 is stretching. You get what I'm saying? And my old car was too nice for me to be stacking crates of drinks on the seats. And
What did you pay for your car when you bought it?
What?
The Merc.
The Merc was 25 originally.
And what did you sell it for?
20. But I had it for...
How many years did you have it for?
25 grand.
25.
Oh, was your car petrol?
No, diesel.
Okay, so you only lost 5 grand on it?
No, because remember, by the time of finance it's 30, so I lost 10 in it.
So you paid 25.
So you lost 10k in 4
25 grand of your own money towards the 25k deposit.
No.
Whatever.
I put down like 7.
Okay.
So you lost 10 grand on a car in 4 years. That's not too bad.
That's not too bad. But at that time, remember, cars were spiking up.
Yeah.
So when originally I've gone Mercedes, before I swapped for the Kia, I was like, right, let me just look at Mercedes, what they got like in electrics. Then they were telling me the was it the EQC or EQE, one of them cars, because Uber at the time you needed either fully electric or a plug-in hybrid. So they're telling me, I looked at the price of the car, brand new, it must have been like, no, second hand was like 60, 70 bags. Bro, go on thingy right now, all them cars have taken a hit.
Yeah.
They're going for like 25. That's in 1 year. So imagine that last year I went and said, right, for my ego, I still need to be Mercedes and paying a higher finance. I would have been vexed this year because the drop is drastic, bro.
And that's why for me, cars, obviously people love comfort. And for me, I just got to the point where I haven't got to that point where I'm happy to lose 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 grand on a car. Once again, spend your money how you want to spend it, all you young boys. But I just haven't got to that point where I'm happy to do that. If you say, oh, you've got a Rolex, but I won't lose 20, 30 grand on that watch. I won't lose that on it. I won't lose 10k in 4 years on that watch.
But do you lot sincerely, like, genuinely believe, like, the stuff you put on Instagram, like, no matter how trivial and whatnot, like, even obviously, like, you talk about business a lot, like, even stuff like that, like, do you not believe in any way, like, it's showing lifestyle, like, that's your propaganda in a way?
Do you ever see?
In even the slightest way?
Okay, for me, I want it to show a certain lifestyle. So I want the younger lot to look and see, look,
okay,
there's a guy called Gabriel who's hitting 40, middle-aged, and he's run businesses. He's no smarter than me. He's not Einstein. He's not doing anything special. I'm not doing anything special.
You know what's mad?
And that's what I want. And I want him to see another side of it, where we have rappers, sports players, fraudsters, drug dealers who do a bit of lifestyle. So I want to give little trinkets to say, well, like, okay, because when you want to speak to a young boy and tell him to not do what he's doing and do something else, or tell him to go down that path. Okay, you're going down that path. What have you got to show for it? And that's why when people are going to these schools to talk to these young boys, and they want to know, what are you doing? Don't come and talk to me and tell me not to do this and not do that. What are you doing? And no disrespect, if you're not doing anything, they're not listening to you. Even when you're trying to get these young boys off the road, what's the alternative? Don't go and tell a young boy to stop selling drugs and make it 2K a month. Okay, what next? What do you do? The first thing I'm going to ask you, if you're going to try and preach to me, is, okay, what do you do? And if you can't show anything for it, I want a young boy to maybe look. And once again, I'm not a role model. But I want him to look and say, all right, I'm going to go to uni, study business, or take a business course or an accounting course, or do something. I want to go into commercial property. I want to open a restaurant. But I'm just one person. So it might be a Dean Forbes they look at. It might be a Muiz they look at. It might be maybe a Marvin they look at who does podcasts. It might be you who does videography. I just want there to be enough people who are doing positive things for the younger lot to look at and say, I don't need to go down that path. That's it. So sometimes I might drop a little something here so that you can be like, okay. So you might see a little watch, even though that doesn't mean anything, you know. But it just shows that, okay, he's got some kind of a trinket.
But that's what I'm talking about.
I'm not suffering.
No,
I don't want anyone to look at me and be like, oh, this guy's got these commercial problems and he's suffering. I'm not suffering.
Yeah.
Like I'm not suffering. It's just that I drive my Clio because it starts and gets me from A to B, and I can't afford the car I want right now. I can't afford it. It doesn't make business sense for me to buy a car and be paying 3K a month for it, and it's going to be losing money every year. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Rolls.
It's not a good investment for me right now.
I guess that's what you spoke about, like the middle ground and stuff, because like I see you lot as, you guys make above average money, the both of you. And
for what averages in the UK,
yeah. For what averages in the UK, yeah. And I believe that you make above average decisions with your money. And I think that what you spend your money on is things that are...
investments.
But also things that are...
That's my flexing.
Yeah, but then also things that are visible. Because like, for example, you don't post all your travelling, but the posting that you do, when you do post your travelling, is still more than like the average person. And I feel like as well, like people... I don't want to say people aren't stupid, because
but I make a point of letting everyone know I've done my 90-hour weeks.
100%, but that's not what they see. Because a majority of what people see is like they see what they want to see.
But you know what I mean? I'm not saying that I can outwork anybody. You ain't worked hard like me. Whoever's looking at that, whoever you are, I'm gonna make a wild assumption. You ain't worked as hard as me. If you're the person that's looking at what I'm doing and you're looking like, right, how's he doing that? That means you ain't worked as hard as me. Because when I see someone doing things that look great, in my head I say you've worked harder than me. Not in every case, but when I read up about people, I look at the hours they've done. Sometimes you can work smart to get there, but typically at the beginning,
you ain't got no choice.
You've got to put those hours in.
Yeah.
And anyone that's looking at somebody and probably envies them probably hasn't put the hours in.
Yeah.
Unless you're a fraudster or something, or someone gave you a handout, those are exceptions to the rule. But the typical person who has gone the hard route, you ain't done my hours. You ain't left, the restaurant or the club at 3 a.m. and had to go cash and carry at 6 a.m, 7 a.m. Some of you can't do it. I've done it. Yeah. So now that I'm enjoying now, don't look at me and be like, oh, this guy's just enjoying life. Come and do the 90 hours.
Well, a lot of times it's so who was our last guest? Travis, yeah. So he was speaking about like the work unseen, the unseen hours, because like, for example, a lot of the stuff that you do in terms of business, like when you're on site and things, people don't see that. And like, as much as you can post, you can never capture the full scope of your life. You know what I mean? And I feel like you taking a picture of a rollie, like that's your, I guess you could say your victory lap, like to say like I've earned this, like etc. That's what people kind of focus on. I tell you what it is for me. When I remember, I will buy a watch and sell a watch. Yeah. It's just for me to just say, okay, cool. The money's sitting in the bank. The 10 grand in the bank is doing nothing for me. I might as well go and buy a watch. And that's where I just feel like it's different. I feel like between. I just go and buy a watch. Well, but I know what watch to buy. That's not going to lose money. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. So you make above average money and you make above average decisions with money, and I believe it's visible. And I believe the visibility doesn't help with your image in regards to like where you're saying like you don't believe you promote lifestyle and stuff. No, people just make bad decisions. Like, a lot of people don't know how to manage their money. They make bad decisions. So for instance, one of the younger that I mentor, he's gone and bought a car. Yeah, I said it in a few episodes. He's gonna lose about 10 grand on that car. In did he get the car? The same grand? Yeah, he's gonna lose about 10 grand on that car in 3 years. He's lost 10k. Yeah. Why are you losing 10k at 20 something? But once again, it's his money. And get out of your system. The ego, like what Chiso was saying about having like the Mercedes. Yeah, but get out of your system, because we all did it. So I'd rather he learns now than does it at 40.
Because there's brothers my age now losing 10, 15 grand on cars and they don't have the 10, 15 grand to lose. Do it at 20. Don't be my age now chasing that thing. And I'm happy that I got out my system. I'm not chasing, I'm not going to buy a car and lose the money. But there's nothing wrong with that because everyone has their vice. So your vice might be losing. Your vice might be losing 5k a year on cars because you don't go on holidays.
It's like, there you go. Like you said, the image of us going on holidays and that. We're not driving mad expensive cars. And it goes back to my brethren's where we've gone to this dance, man, they're buying GLEs.
But that's the next level.
You get what I'm saying?
That's the next level.
No, but they're in big cars, but they don't go on holidays.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So what you deem as us doing image, bro, go.
It's not doing image. I'm not saying you're doing image because you could both be more flagrant than you are.
You know I hold back.
Yeah.
I don't show most things on my story. The only time you catch me is when I might be, let's say like I might be like at some event and someone's tagging me something. I press the post. Like, but apart from that, I go bare. Like we went out the other day to we didn't post. Yeah,
but your image and your brand transcends social media because people might physically see you at this event, for example. They might be working at whatever event or venue you're at and they're like, oh, there's Chiso. Then they go on Instagram the next week, oh, Chiso's in Sweden with Marvin. Oh, that's
But I'm going to be a bit of a hypocrite here.
Yeah.
There's a flip side to it is that, for instance, when people see, and I'm not a celebrity, but when people see famous celebrities, they will say, you know, you don't see them drowned in designer clothes, they're wearing like a Zara t-shirt. No, they're probably still wearing that Hermes t-shirt, but it's just, there's no Hermes on it.
It's a different
now, that's the comfortability they've got now. I've got to a point
black label,
where I'm comfortable, where I went to go and buy a t-shirt the other day, and probably for the first time in my life, or maybe the second or third time maybe, but it was a new experience where I wanted the quietest t-shirt, if that makes sense. So it was still the brand.
But you're playing a different game.
But I didn't want, I in my head now, I don't want to market this person's brand anymore. And that's where I've now got where I'm comfortable, where I can go to a bar or a club now and I don't need to pop bottles because I'm comfortable enough that maybe anyone who, remember, we're trying to impress people that don't know us. Anyone who's in my circle, not saying you should impress your circle, but anyone around me knows about me. So I don't need to go around Chiz or Taser or Marv or Dean or anybody who's my friend, or Prince, or Leon, or Obi, and start having to flex. Like I can be like this because my friends know me.
But your flexing is in different ways, though.
I know, but because
completely different. You're playing a different game.
Where I flex now is on investments, and that's where I believe we should all be flexing. It should be investments because a lot of the stuff that we're wasting money on is to impress people that we don't even know or care about.
And you know what's mad here? Even when it goes back to flipping designer and all of that, I think what kind of killed it for man was once we started dropping like merch. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, because I know qualities of tops and all of this due to being around Lakey and all these little things. Like Taser as well. So sometimes you might see Taser in a plain black hoodie, but I'll see it and touch it and I'll be like, and I'll just laugh because I know where he might have copped it from. So like we'll buy hoodies from like Portugal, where a lot of designer brands go Portugal to grab their hoodies. So a plain, if you buy a hoodie one off and you don't buy a wholesale, you might be paying £70 for the hoodie. You get me? And it's just a blank hoodie. But it's just due to the quality of the material. It's like, you could wash it 10, 20 times. It'll still be the same. Like I've got hoodies from like 3 years ago that I've bought from Portugal. You get what I'm saying? Taser's got the same way. Taser just buys black all the time from them. I've got pink, green, black, everything. But when you buy wholesale now, you might get the same hoodie for like £30. But because we know brands that we liked to wear all the time, are using the same companies, it just kind of just killed everything for me, where I'm like, I know this hoodie. And also, but now it's just your logo in it, but I know I've got the hoodie with nothing.
And I think for me now, because I look at things, don't get me wrong, I still spend money on, I still like to treat myself. And everyone has their vice. So for instance, your vice might be holidays. This person's vice might be buying expensive candles. Someone might be fragrances, someone might be cars. Everyone has most people have their space where they waste money, but it's a treat to themselves. We all treat ourselves differently, you know. So I if I go and buy an item of clothing now, before my idea was I want you to know I bought this. Like you've got to see the LV as big as it is. It's got to say loud LV. It's got to the point where I don't even like wearing brands on the podcast.
You're promoting them for free.
Why am I? This may get 10, 20. Why am I not being paid? Like this is how my mentality is now. Maybe it's the wrong mentality, but I'm not promoting your brand.
I don't think it's the wrong mentality. I feel like
people get paid. Someone's getting paid to wear Adidas right now.
Yeah.
I'm not getting paid to wear this.
Of course.
They've got less reach than me, and they're getting paid to wear this. And that's where I'm at now. Where I'd rather buy something which is very small logo wise, where you've got to kind of look at me like, oh, okay, well that's raw. Than me to have brrr. But that was me before because I didn't have.
Yeah.
And I want you to know that.
Loud, yeah.
I want you to know that I've got, even I didn't have.
I wear the man them stuff like Mr. Hustle.
I didn't have it.
You get what I'm saying? Like Hustle clothing. I wear his stuff. Chosen
I would
Few.
say that's because
This is my branding stuff.
Yeah.
You get what I'm
Until
saying? More time when you see me on the channel, the stuff I'm wearing are my people stuff.
Yeah, but you lot are older now, innit? So like you've had designer, like you've done
And
that
I'm
stage.
finally comfortable with myself.
Exactly.
I'm finally comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm actually finally comfortable where I don't. Obviously, we all care what people think about us.
But you know what's annoying,
But,
Even like in regards to that. So I get where Wes was saying about the lifestyle of traveling and that, and I told you how it affected a certain like where me not purposely not posting things I do affected
the branding,
the branding with Raven. So I'll give you an example. 2018, 2019, every time I'll travel, before I travel, I might go like I'll be working Uber. It gets to like 6 o'clock on a Thursday. This is like routine. I'll be like you. I see a shirt that I like. Scrolling Selfridges online. I'll be like, right, let me go buy this top. What slowed it down? Remember when we went to fucking Dubai? That 2019.
Yeah.
Man wore a Neil Barrett top. Bro. Within 10 minutes, a girl put a cigarette hole in it.
Yeah.
3 bills gone.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with that.
Bro, I was
because
vexed.
I don't think you should have things that you can't just
3 bills
replace.
gone. I was vexed.
Yeah.
So like after, like I said, I got Miami, being around Lou's.
It's because he has.
I
The
don't.
moment you're comfortable.
Yeah, but
You
being
know what
around
you
that,
need to.
bro,
Yeah,
that rattled me. That changed me. I'm in the club here. I'm next to Lou, Rollie on, fucking Alexander McQueen top on, Lube's on. All the celebs are there coming saying hi to both of us. I'm looking like I'm a rapper next to him. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where it's just looking like he's just my casual
I
regular.
think
And that just,
using him as an example,
Yeah.
his money's different, isn't it?
yeah,
So
but
like,
that changed.
I don't believe there's.
But being around friends like that changed my whole perception on money. Then I've come back and I've just purposely said, right, like after that trip, I remember like my mom was talking to me. This is like, it's 2 months before she died. So she's talking to me and she goes, no, it's a month before she died. So she's talking to me and she's saying to me like, right, you're always traveling, you're always doing this, blah, blah, blah. People are always watching. And I said, you know what? Like, you're not on Instagram, but you know everything I'm doing. And I purposely don't tell you, you get what I'm saying? So I know my cousins are here screenshotting and sending on WhatsApp, he bought this. Because even when I bought a Rollie, she goes, I heard you gotta watch more expensive than your uncle. And I just laughed. You get what I'm saying?
What's more expensive?
Yeah, I just laugh because my uncle, everyone sees my uncle as the chairman of the family. And I remember like when he's come, me and him was comparing rollies. I was like, "Rah, my thing's better than yours, you know?" Like, you get me? And I said, "Rah, you're in my Benz now, you get me?" So I'm mucking, but these times he's got money, bread like that. So like those little combos just made me think, you know what? Too much people watch.
Just being comfortable.
So I was like,
And that's why I don't care anymore.
Yeah, so I was like, I like, because they're watchy. I don't need to show off because the bad side of that now, the flip side, is if you're doing that all the time, people are gonna think you got more money than you have. Then when the age where people, let's be honest, when the age that there might be someone who's watching this that's a robber. You get me? Rah, them man are balling. All right. Ski mask gang, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of that. So being around these people, I was like, right, like the image was selling out my dances because maybe like 2016, I remember talking to my boy Zoma, and he does raves, and Zoma goes, right, you travel quite a bit, you're out and about, you get me, like, but you never show it. He says if you start showing it, your dances are going to be ram all the time. And people are fickle. The moment I start showing everything I do, some of the others double the amount.
Bro,
so now I'm getting 600
but
people.
But you're in the lifestyle game though, so you're meant to show that.
So I'm getting 600 people in the dance now.
You're still in the lifestyle game.
Then I was getting 1-2, but I was getting 1-2 because every time I'm driving, you're seeing a panoramic roof. I'm rapping along to myself. You're seeing a rollie when I do this. You know, everyone with a rollie does this like 5 times a day, so that you can see the hand. You get me? Then flipping. Next minute, I don't post. I never post when I'm on a flight. That's just me. But next minute, I do this. Toronto. So girls are messaging me. When are you gonna take me on a trip with you? You're always traveling. Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. My views spike up on my stories. So on an average, let's say stories are getting like 1,000 to 2,000. I'm hitting 4K consistent with less followers. Gal are seeing this, man are seeing this. I'm posting flyer right after it. It's selling. It's marketing.
100%.
I'm just putting back into the funnel and saying, right, see you lot on Saturday. I'll be back on Thursday.
Yeah.
And
so having done all that, people still think you have money. People see you and they're shocked.
Okay.
But now I put my money to my business into things that are going to profit me long term.
Yeah. What is money?
Yeah.
So my question now is what is money? So let's just say, when you say somebody is you allude to the fact someone has money. Yeah. That's what we've been saying.
Yes.
What are you considering money to be? Because and let's talk about maybe savings. Yeah. Maybe let's talk about disposable. Maybe talk about what someone is earning. What do you consider money? How much do you reckon someone needs to earn for someone to say, oh, he's making money?
There's levels to it. There's definitely levels to it, and I feel like.
Obviously, there's levels and levels and levels.
I could give you a figure now, and then I could hit that figure myself and be like, oh no, this ain't money.
Okay, what do you think the average person looks at what money is and says, oh, this person's
probably more than what they've got. So like in terms of like disposable income, because you can make $3,000 a month, like after taxes and all that stuff, and then you pay your rent, all your bills, and then you have nothing. So you can't do lifestyle. So I feel like it comes under. There's got to be a balance of disposable income, but also maintaining what you have. So I'll probably say maybe $5,000 with $2,000 of that being disposable income. I reckon you could do lifestyle with that.
If you're living by yourself, if you're a single man or woman by yourself, I honestly feel that, say you're living in London, you're living within your means. So I always like to use a 1-bed flat. If you're a single person, I don't think you need more than a 1-bed flat. If you need more than that, you've got too many stuff. You need to get rid of some stuff. So let's say you're living in a 1-bed flat and that's taking, say, £1,200 a month from you. I think if you're taking 4K after tax, I think, and that should be enough for you to live within your means. 3K after tax, maybe a bit of a pinch. Yeah. I think 4K.
I think your life would cost about $3,000.
Yeah, I think 4K is
4 to 5. I think that's
4K is enough, which is roughly about what, maybe a 70K salary.
Yeah.
And I think but even that is a lot. That's a lot.
You could do a lot with that.
But that's what I'm saying to you.
Because the average person in London apparently is making 40. So 70, that extra 30K.
I think that's inflated as well.
Like you see, like you see with that, yeah.
Let me just calculate what 40K is.
Someone in that year come on holiday every single month.
100%, but that's what I'm saying.
You would think that they're balling more than they are, but like I said to you, it's about knowing all these little things like the websites and you get what I'm saying. Yeah. Like even
it's how to spend
your money. Yeah. Like even when it comes to like
you could do that on one trip.
There you go. Like even when it comes to like things like even like like dinners and this.
Yeah.
It's why it's good to have female friends because they will show you spots that are so nice and low key where it looks like you spent like £100.
You go down to these low key spots.
250, but these times, you get what I'm saying. You spent like £30, bro. Southend is down the road, Like Southend's down the road. A lot of people don't know there's like the whole of the strip is restaurants.
But that's what I'm saying. If you had a sponsor come in now and say we're going to pay you £1,000 a month, you could do lifestyle. You could if you set that budget aside to just do lifestyle, you would. Yeah.
What do you think the average person is making an hour then? Because 40,000 salary is roughly about 40 hours a week on £20 an hour. Would you say £20 an hour is a lot for someone to earn?
So I think
that's probably managerial. That's like a manager role, right?
My job's like £17. I think there's people that have been there, and it's just a normal job. There's people that have been there for like let's say 5 years. Their money's gone up. They're on about 40 grand. So
that's £20 an hour.
Yeah.
What's the manager on? £20 an hour, you'd say?
Depends how long you've been there, but I think everything's
£20
dropped.
an hour is not outside too far away from people's reach, though, is it? £20 an hour.
No, if you get to my workplace, you was there for like 2 years, you can make 40.
Yeah, and that's basically 40k. So I think 40k is achievable.
Yeah,
I think you just have to be in the right industry or be valued.
Yeah.
Enough.
Yeah.
Because I think what a bottle of water is worth in a corner shop in Croydon is not the same to what it's worth on an aeroplane.
But
it's the same bottle of water.
The knowledge of what jobs and to get and how to get them isn't available to everyone, and I don't think everyone is as hungry to step out of their comfort zone and maybe leave a job which they're not too sure about to then go and search for something better.
And also, we have to allow for someone to be comfortable in where they're working.
I used to be in the club popping every single week though.
No one cares.
I do raves, but every week it was part of the look. It's popping. But
Yeah.
when Manon was at Raw, we've gone Napa and all this. I was like, Raw, I swear now, bro, I ain't been Napa, I ain't been Beaver, I ain't been on them places. It's only when I went holiday, probably before everyone, when I turned 18, I was just like, yeah, I'm going to America. I went for 3 weeks. Then after that, I didn't go on no holiday till 25. I just couldn't be bothered. But it wasn't in my thing like that. Then I remember when I went Cancun, then the buzz came. Then I remember my boy Emeka saying, "Right, why are you going on holiday, man? That's a waste of time and money." You know, Emeka.
Yeah.
Emeka goes on holiday more than all of us now. The following, I think it was it 2013, 2 years later, when you come with me, Cancun.
Okay,
Yeah, I made Emeka come that trip, bro. Emeka probably goes on holiday every single month. I can't even keep up with him now. Because that literally, that one moment spurred it for him. Before you know it, I'm like, right, Emeka, where you? I'm in America. Right, Emeka, where you? I'm in Morocco. Oh, Emeka, where you? It's become his thing now. Like, traveling is his thing. You never see Emeka in designer head to toe. You're never going to see Emeka in the club popping bottles. That's never been his thing. You get me? But when it comes to traveling,
I think everyone has their vice.
Everything.
Everybody has their vice. And that's why where one man is squandering money in one place, he's saving it in another.
Yeah.
That's why you shouldn't really be looking at someone and saying, no, if someone wants to squander their money on a car and it depreciates, that might
that's their business, that's their fun.
They might not go on holiday.
Yeah.
Like remember, like he said, he likes cars. I like cars as well, but I can't afford the car I want. Yeah. So right now, the car that I drive is fine for me because the car, like, it's back to the middle ground. You see, like when we was growing up, having a Mercedes and a BMW was the upper ground when we was kids. Fast forward now, it's just it's any car.
Yeah, I would.
It's any car to us.
I'd have to skip that. But then that's why I wouldn't bother.
But the car that I want, it's more than my rent.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
But going back to what you said about like squandering money on like random things, I've squandered money, but I've squandered it on so I came into business at about, let's say, 18, 19, right? Like before that I did some t-shirt shit, but everyone does that shit. And
I don't
since
know why
like
you killed your TikTok.
Bro, I've made...
This guy's wild.
I've made good decisions, I've made bad decisions, but let's say I'm 24 now, I would say between the age of, let's say 20 to 24, probably made about 45k from just business and different stuff. That's gone.
But can you see where it's gone? I
can see where it's gone.
Okay.
And it bothers me. But I haven't done the wrong things, if that makes sense.
But this is a good thing. You're not a 34-year-old man now having this conversation. You're not a 44-year-old man having this conversation.
Yeah.
You're a 24-year-old man having this conversation. It's a lot more refreshing than being my age and having this conversation.
No, of course, but like, in obviously hindsight is shit, innit? But like, I feel like I would have been better off just having a job. And then just because the way I earned money was inconsistent. It was in big chunks, and you have a break, and then you kind of have to budget out. You know what I mean? There you go. So if I had a job and I just did that as a side hustle, maybe I would have made less money because I have less time. That would have been better.
But I think the key though is that you've got enough. You've got so much more time.
Of course.
And people act like time isn't going anywhere. It is. Like this year already. We're in March, and it was just New Year's the other day. We're in March already. Mad. Every day is just. I think because we're so occupied and doing so much, and that's why time's flying. We're just so busy. Back in the day we had so much free time, and I think because we scroll a lot. The other day I was on. I can't remember what platform I was on. I don't know if it was Instagram or something, and I was scrolling, and I saw a post saying, "You don't even know what you're scrolling for."
I don't want to drop my phone.
No. Literally, someone posted, "I bet you don't even know what you're scrolling for."
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm even looking for. But that's time's going. Before you know it, 20, 30 minutes, and I was gone. That's how time's going so fast because we're so occupied. We're so addicted to this.
Yeah, this book even talks about socials.
See this here. And I was watching one podcast where the guy was saying that you might not want to do it, but it's so important to separate your business from your phone. So maybe to have like a laptop. So because I do emails and that on my phone, in my head, I'm so attached to my phone because it's everything that I'm doing in here. Whereas maybe if I had a laptop or maybe another phone or a tablet that I was doing it, even though it's still the same thing, but I'm not on my phone. Like we're just on the phone. Like it's bad. Like everything is on here.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing, but everything is on our phones.
It's not healthy. It's not healthy.
The post said, I bet you don't even know what you're scrolling for. Or I bet you don't know, you don't know what you're scrolling for. You're basically indicating that what you just...
When we had Nokia Face Off, we weren't on our phone as much. It's mad.
Just scrolling.
Like, we actually used to ring people, right, where you at? Alright, come to link you.
Yeah, it's bad.
Then you actually hang with people.
But it's technology. And I think technology, we move with technology. And that's just what it is now, is that when we first had phones, all phones used to do was ring. Then we had a camera. It was like, oh my God, you can take cameras. Then phones started, internet or like GPRS came in where you can now start sending like BlackBerry messengers. Like, just things have changed now where this is your powerhouse now. Everything is in your phone. It's just a game now.
You lose your phone, you start panicking.
Even to the point that you don't even need bank cards anymore. You've got Apple Pay. You can literally just everything's on your phone. And I think it's going to get to the point soon when ID will be on your phone, where you don't even need to use your passport anymore. I think at some point, all we're going to need is our phone. At some point, and which is good. But I just think social media has played a very good part of making the world small, but made a very bad part of. It's basically our life. I was saying to someone I was talking to about business the other day. I said, Instagram went down 2 days ago. Was it a day ago? Instagram was playing up. I said, do you still have a business without Instagram? She said,
some people don't. They don't have websites.
She said no, she doesn't.
Instagram went down. Everyone was in WhatsApp. Everyone was in WhatsApp. Like, right, is your Insta working?
So I said, who owns your business, Instagram or you? She sat there like, I do. I goes, are you sure? Because if Instagram closes down today, how do you retrieve all the data? I said, do you have all your customers' phone numbers and emails saved?
She ain't got a website.
No, she goes, I communicated them all on Instagram. I said, even when they come to do a booking, she goes, yeah, like I don't need their number. Like I would agree a time on Instagram and they'll come. So I said, if Instagram deletes itself today,
you're doomed.
How do you contact all your customers? She was like, I never thought of that. That's just how powerful social media has become.
And
like,
Instagram could delete your account at any given
just
moment
like that,
for
and
no
then
reason.
you have to start again from scratch.
So, social media makes people's lives though, like in terms of like influencers and stuff, because that wasn't a thing before. You can be an influencer doing anything now, absolutely anything. And I think that's interesting.
But I think garnering attention has always been business. If you can't garner attention, you don't have a business. You can buy something at the cheapest price. You can have a shop at the cheapest price. If you can't find a consumer to sell it to, it's pointless. Like, garnering attention is everything in this world.
Is there a wrong type of attention?
Nope.
You don't think so?
Because even people with the shittiest platforms, people are still paying for them to do things. Like, the attention is everything. Even if I'm a bad guy, and then you realise that I can promote something and 50,000 people see, even if they don't buy it, it's raised awareness. They know what that brand is now. Even if they're not going to buy it, they've heard of it. It's in your head. Attention is everything, and that's why people are doing a madness online.
So if for example someone had £10,000 to invest and they could say it would be a personal brand where you talk about gaining attention or whatever for whatever purpose, versus let's say starting a business, let's say they start up a mobile car wash or something, which in 2024 would you recommend? A personal brand or
if I could become an influencer, and I could look at Eddie for instance, the guy that basically tells you wake up, about all the nutritional stuff. He's carved a lane for himself now, where I don't know what brands are paying him, but the moment brands start attaching themselves to him, as long as he keeps his image clean and nothing comes out about him in the past doing something he shouldn't have done, he's making money for as long as he's hot. In the same way you look at someone like Omega, I can't remember how you can say his
Paula Lima.
Yeah, Paula Lima. I don't know what he's making, but I can guess he's making a lot of money.
It looks like a lot of money.
He's garnered a lot of, remember, what is it? Attention. Yeah. He's got attention. He's got 1 million subscribers. Followers on Facebook. He's got a million people on every platform. Any brand that feels that he has the network for them, so he's not into furniture. So don't go and be a furniture brand and start advertising on his platform. People are not there for that. People are there for humour, they're there for gym, and they're there for maybe nutrition. So if you attach yourself to anything to do with those sort of things, his network is there for that. Remember, marketing, whether or not, remember, people don't watch TV as much anymore. Back in the day, adverts on TV was where you would pay. People are watching social media. If he can do a 30-second reel and 500,000 people watch it, that's probably the numbers you was getting from a TV show. This is where the money is now. If you're going to create a platform where I can advertise on your platform and I can get 10,000 people, like people know for me to do restaurants, maybe construction, maybe finance. If somebody is in that field and they want to sell a course to somebody, they can be like, okay, bro, I beg you just kind of just mention the course in your thing. How many people do you get viewing your stories? I get about 4,000. Okay, that's 4,000 people. Even if it's just 10% of people who are interested, that's maybe 400 people who might be interested. If I can convert 10% of that, that might be 40 people. It might be worth it. Everything's attention. No matter what business you're in. And remember, this world runs on business. You can't, everyone who works in some kind of a business.
Yeah.
Business is the world. You have a job because of a business. Whether it's cleaning toilets, whether it's you're an air stewardess, whether you're doing videography, it's commerce. Something is selling. That's it. So if you can garner attention, that's it. You've made it. Because you can make money. Look at what's that guy that's got the Twitch account? Is it Kaya? Yeah. He's garnered attention. Whether it's good attention, it doesn't matter. You might look at him and think he's a prick. What he does, I couldn't do that. All that screaming or jumping up and down. One person argued that we've given the wrong people platforms. Wherever it can't be the wrong people, because if he's got 1 million subscribers, there's clearly 1 million people who enjoy what he's doing. Whether you want to call them delinquents, or if you want to call them illiterates, those 1 million illiterates like what he's doing. They don't like what you're doing with all your Queen's English. It's just unfortunate. And the moment I or anyone can figure out how to garner attention, you'll make money. It's just what it is. Look at Paul Lima, for instance. I'm not his accountant, but you can clearly see that if he gets views. And that's all that you need. And that's why if you've got a YouTube account that's popping, YouTube will pay you a fraction, a dribble of some money. But they're running all these ads. Look how much they're making from it. But they just give you a little dribble. Well, okay, thanks for being a good slave. There's some sprinkle you a bit of money. Yeah, that's business. And if I can get into a point where I can garner enough attention, people will pay me to say things, and that's fine. I don't mind getting paid to advertise a product, whether it sells for them or not. It's irrelevant. It's awareness.
Would you, if a sponsor came in, and let's say it was something that was completely polar opposite to your brand and your morals and ethics, but they paid you a serious check, would you promote it?
When you say the only thing that's against my morals and ethics is probably anything to do with children, anything to do
with
like
I don't know, something to do with like, let's say you religiously wore Nike clothes, for example, and you explicitly said like I hate Adidas. Adidas came and was like, oh, we're gonna give you this much to completely. You can't like Nike anymore.
As long as this thing does not go against my morals in regards to causing harm or abuse to anybody or people, I'm for sale.
Yeah,
I'm for sale.
Well, like vitamins and supplements.
I'm for sale.
That do nothing.
I am for sale.
And Bitcoin scams.
I'm selling myself every day. We all sell ourselves. You're selling yourself right now, Head.
Yeah.
I'm for sale. We all for sale. That's why you go to a job, they buy you every year. Your employer's bought you every year for a certain amount of hours. He's bought you. That's what your salary is for. He compensates you. You're being bought. And I'm for sale. Yes. You can buy me. Yes. When someone runs an ad or you do something for somebody as a campaign, they bought you for that particular amount, for that time. You're being bought. You're basically an indentured servant. And I have no problem with it. I'm for sale. I'm not proud enough to say I'm not for sale. You can buy me.
Would you promote vitamins that don't work, Chiz?
No.
You wouldn't?
Oh, if you mean if I know someone's fraudulent and basically wants me to sell them a course, sell a course.
No, like let's say they were.
I could have been pushing their brands for years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. The fitness game is.
Yeah.
The people who are
interesting.
Some of the people that are killing it are not ethical, but it is what it is because people rather follow.
How important is that to you in terms of making money, making money ethically?
Very. Cause if not, bro, I would have been mashing, selling people dud shit. You get what I'm saying? But
yeah,
it's just, you know what it is. I think I care for people too much. That's my issue.
Like I wouldn't sell something or sell something which I know is detrimental. So I wouldn't.
Yeah,
if I know someone's got a course that he's just lying, like it doesn't make any money.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't go and promote that.
That's what
no. I wouldn't go and promote that.
Yeah.
But something that, like, let's say for instance, I don't like. Let's say I'm not a fan of one brand called Slazenger.
Yeah.
But let's say Slazenger. I don't wear Slazenger.
Yeah.
Let's say Slazenger.
And just shot them in the.
And Slazenger came to me.
The builder's brand.
And someone said, "Oh, we want you to wear it." Oh, I'll wear it. Oh, of course I'm wearing it. Same way, I'm not an Android fan. If Samsung came to me and I said, "Oh, can you just advertise Samsung?" And I'm like, "Oh, yes."
Yeah.
Even if they said, "Oh, we need you to start using only Samsungs for the year," I'll throw my iPhone away. How much you paying me? I can be bought. We're all being bought.
Okay.
I'm not scared to say that I can't be bought. I'm being bought. Buy me. Please.
Would you prefer to be, if you had the choice to kind of switch lanes or switch careers and be solely an influencer, like
Yes, I would. Yes, I would.
You would just be influencer.
Yes, there's nothing better than being able to work remote.
Okay.
What? I just got to post something and I get paid.
And get sent on holidays.
What?
Yeah.
And get sent on
I'm
holidays.
ready to be bought. Listen, campaign. I'm ready to be an influencer. Let me influence you. Let me influence you. Anything you want me to wear, I'll wear it. Please bring it.
It's like like how you said, if a sponsor was paying, what do you say?
Yeah, like $1,000 a month. Yeah.
Yeah, $1,000 a month to do what?
Whatever, bro. Like, I don't know.
I can be bought. I can be bought.
Twitch stream, talk shit.
We'll do that,
post,
bro.
Yeah.
Because we know what we're gonna use it to promote on the channel for them. I hope you like this episode. Remember, please, before you go, like, share, subscribe. Peace.